Yes. We talked later about it.
Yeah.
Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Over here. Yeah.
Right from the dust cloud.
Okay, in just a moment, welcome to Trenches. We're on the air. In just a moment, Carl's going to tell us how the teams are doing. But before we go there, let's play this game. Again, I am a realtor. The question is, two questions to what you're. Number one, yes or no, I am or not. And number two, what will you do differently to increase your production? And we're going to start with you, sir.
Oh.
Name, I am a.
Grace Henson. I'm not. Sales.
That'll work. It's not.
What am I planning to do?
Are you thinking about
I
your production next year?
am thinking about my production. That's actually why I'm here, and I want 2017 to be a boom.
That you didn't do this year.
I think I want to be a little bit more. Top of things. I'm not very. I don't like emails. I like phone calls more than texts. And I know it's a very big time saver as far as sending emails or whatnot, but and just kind of keep better track of potential clients. It's like I don't like holding hands. That's kind of what I do with some people is the type thing, and I guess I should do a little bit more of that, or just see. I guess that's what I'm.
That's a lot of information.
You're welcome.
So you're at a probably don't have a lot of patience with people, but you come to the realization that maybe in this method or not, we kind of have to do that, right? And you're so young. I'm surprised you're not more technically savvy. Emails and texts and keep through filing online. That's a big deal.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm a realtor, and I am looking at my 2017 goals. I haven't submitted those yet. And the question was, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what do you think you're going to do differently this coming year to be even more successful?
I've taken a step back from and focusing more on building relationships, and that'll help in 2017.
Good answer. Woo! Teresa talk.
Yeah. Right, Teresa.
Teresa, that might be part of what we help you.
Ninja.
I'm Kelly Gray Wonder. I'm not a realtor. And
Lindor.
Lindor. Linder. I do know what I want to do next year as far as volume wise, but I think what I'm going to try and do a little bit differently next year is not spread myself so thin and concentrate more on the relationships that I have built and building to be that best lender go-to person this year.
Yeah, good job of that, but I do, yeah, that'd be a good answer. Carl.
I'm Carl. I'm a realtor. I am thinking of my goals for 2017. Shaping up because everyone I wanted to work with in 2016 kept pushing it off. My 2017 is going to be amazing. And I think what I'll do different is step outside of my comfort zone a bit more and approach people, not just the people I know and the friends and family I have, but reach out and find new prospects outside of that group.
I have seen you getting more of your comfort zone also, by the way. Hunger is amazing. Hunger is an amazing driver.
Maybe confidence, it takes a while to build your confidence. When you first start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go. I'm Carla Steffen, I'm a Realtor. And probably the two areas, which are anybody's areas, are more actively prospecting and streamlining our CRM for sure. To be able to have a better active prospecting.
Great.
I am Ellie Steffen, and I'm a Realtor. Thinking about 2017's production and goals and things like that. I would like to be more proactive instead of reactive. It's something that Teresa's definitely pushed a lot in class, and I
So me, every time you speak, everybody wants what you say.
Thank you.
I am Abraham Hernandez. I'm a Realtor. And goal for 2000 is make it a successful year because 2016 haven't been successful so far. But I think I would like to invest. Well, I have been investing a lot of time on generating people, building relationships, and I think that's what eventually will pay off. I don't know. Maybe next year I want to do a little more promoting. Maybe go into something promotions basically.
Do you live in a condo association?
I do live in one, and I already tried that.
What did you try?
I went and knocked on every one of my neighbors' doors and introduced myself. And
Did you go to the meetings? Did you go to the condo association meetings?
I used to be a part of the board, and honestly, when knowing that, and I 4 of us that were going to the meeting, 4 or 5. Not people is not really into going into meetings though.
It's good to know about your neighborhood so that you can relay that information when you do your clients in the condo association.
No, I know because I was part of the board, but Abraham, they send one, but because it's through a different company, it's whatever they say.
You said, so there is hey John, so there's no actual newsletter. I'm just looking for a way. The point is, when you were on the board, were you a Realtor when you were on the board?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, well, you're a Realtor now. You should get back on that board, go to all those meetings and be the only Realtor that they think of when it comes time to selling or buying property.
Yeah.
That is an absolute, that's right for cultivation for you to go to those meetings, because now you can offer something.
Right.
Okay, I'd start with that. So why wasn't 2016 successful in your opinion?
I have invested a lot of time and effort, and so far I haven't read the benefits just yet. I think a lot of it has to do with time management, and I think it was part of the process, of me learning and understanding the way the business works. But
You've got some nice listings though.
yeah, but we need them to sell. I mean, honestly, business is just like any other business. It comes down to numbers, If you push, eventually pay off. Is they I can have listings, but if they don't sell, it's a 0, and chances are tomorrow they can be canceled. So even though it's a win that is not 100% because it hasn't quite closed.
What'd you do before this?
I'm into construction. I do have a small construction business, like remodeling, and that's what I do. I do on the side. I had to go back to do it again because I haven't been producing a whole lot of money here. And it's the same thing over there, It's a money thing, It's a numbers game, Throw a bunch of bets, and chances are you go and look at 10 different job sites. It's very the way it works. I think that as long as we keep getting our name out there, but it's gonna take time to develop though. Like obviously like Kathy, she's been around forever, so a lot of people knows her. And it's not like, oh well, it's a name that's out there and that's been out there. And that's and I think eventually it's timing too. I do think that for whatever reason people is skeptical. It's maybe because of the presidential elections or because all these oil people losing their jobs. Next year it will be better because once the presidential election go away and then whatever happens, but maybe have a different mindset on people thinking that, oh, guess what, we're not gonna be as bad or whatever this and that. See, I mean I haven't been doing this for a while, but I see that a lot of people is just scared flying right now.
Have you seen people hesitate?
I think
for the election?
I think Carl's seeing that a little bit. I keep track of our, I'm the goalkeeper and for the team, the cash flow keeper, if you will, to see through another month. And I really push this team hard in that there's a lot of accountability. If they get a lead, they have to work that lead, and I'm involved, and I know if they're working it or not. And I can say that to my surprise, as we round the corner to the end of this year, we are really focus. And the fact, and we're very accountable to each other and our team meetings, and we just keep track of things. And it is a numbers game. Real estate is really a numbers game. And you got to talk to 20 people like John does, or 30 to get one. He does is he's focused. He does that every day and all the time.
Right.
You can't be scattered. Anyway,
What letter are you on, John?
H.
Hey, you're about to give me a call.
so John, here's the question. Are you thinking about 2017 production? And what will you change? What will you do differently to have an even better year?
I've been thinking of hiring a coach to keep me focused on, because I've been doing the same thing for 2 years. And while that's produced good results, I think I may be at a plateau. Go through this peak and valley, to where I get things going, and I see how much I can do, and then I can't do anymore. I get 7-8 transactions going, I can't do any more than that.
So here's an idea. Rather than pay for a coach, because I submit you could be a coach, why don't you hire an assistant?
That was the other things. Staff is
I do too.
someone
that can do all the things to let you do what you're really good at. And that assistant keeps you focused, does all the paperwork, keeps things moving in the pipeline. Yeah. You're ready for that. And I'm not convinced you need a coach. You could be a coach.
Yeah, because you're really disciplined.
Everything you touch, you do so well. But I think that what holds you back for doubling your production is the fact that you need help.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we solved that problem.
See you guys later.
Go to work.
Gotta go back to work.
We're gonna hire someone.
Yeah.
And
How are the teams doing? Who's winning, who's not?
So in our beloved third place, Team 2, holding it down.
Who's our team captain?
Hold it down.
That's Billy Building down is a good thing.
But Billy's the only one working this. That's the
And he's
truth.
working hard. He's the number one point getter of anybody.
Oh, how about a round of applause? That's,
Savior pity.
and so what's he doing to get so many points?
He's making those calls. He's wearing his name tag just about daily, it looks like.
Not today. He lost it again.
Oops.
That's the name tag?
$25.
$35.
I thought it was more expensive.
It's 25 because I just spent 20, unless it goes up the more you lose.
The more you buy.
I spent 25.
Kelly,
And I'm gonna turn in my points for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Sleeper, a sleeper.
Yeah, slacker.
5-point getter on that team is Miss Amanda. 8 prospect calls and handing out 95 business cards. And then Aaron Asbury as well is at 191 points. Same thing, about 75 business cards, and wears his name tag just about daily.
And by the way, just for people who don't know, these points are how you get focused and how you get business.
Doing conversation that you might think about a buyer might be interested in. And look at it all, there's really just and conventional loans. Now you have your owner financing or private investors, okay. But those main 3, the majority of our buyers are going to fit into. There's add-ons. What would add on to an FHA or a VA or a conventional loan? Let's start with the FHA. It's a great program. It has a lot of flexibility in their debt ratios compared to, say, a conventional loan. The down payment is 3.5% minimum. For a single family, duplex, triplex, or fourplex. So you can buy a fourplex with 3.5% down. It's a great way to start building an investment portfolio. Start with the first one, live in it for a year, obligate that. Move from there. You must own or occupy. You can have gift funds on an FHA loan for the entire down payment and all the closing costs, prepaids, and reserves.
And those gifts funds have to be from, it can't be from the seller, in other words.
Nope, it has to be from a family member or an employer can gift you funds.
Employer
An
can do
employer
that, Kelly?
can, and or a organization, a church, one of the down payment assistance programs.
Or your significant other, even if you're not married, right?
And all we have to do is prove that it's not just boyfriend or girlfriend. So we would look at if they're actually cohabitating. So we would maybe utility bills, their phone bill, where does it come to? Are you sharing any of the utilities? Where does your mail go to? So everybody's going to, especially like with a non-occupant co-borrower or something like that, and they're not very, we could use gift funds from that person, even if they're not going to be on the loan. You're going to have a non-occupant co-borrower, which is really cool, which you've probably done, and I've done for my boys in their first houses. I co-signed for them for their first $50,000 condo. Don't have to occupy the property, but they can be on the loan to help qualify that person. But for debt ratios, maybe funds are going to come from dad's account. Wouldn't have to, have it as.
And both of those borrowers have to have good credit, though. One can't have bad and one good.
Have to meet the minimum standards. And I've had a lot of people say, well, I've got really crummy credit, but my husband's got really good credit. Well, what we do is we pull 3 scores, middle of each of those scores, the lower of the 2. So we take the middle score, because we pull 3, both of them, and then we take the lower of that 2 of the middle score, and that's our base credit score. You could combine FHA with Alaska Housing. I know that's one of the things Amanda was asking about last week. Well, when do you know when you can combine it, and why would you? Combine with Alaska Housing, you say we wanted to add the first-time homebuyer program. Okay.
What benefit would that bring?
For the Alaska Housing, a borrower who's still going to do the 3.5% down. Debt ratios are in line. Homebuyer rate might be lower than what the national FHA rate would be, then we would want to go that direction. So I'm a first-time home buyer. Well, that's cool, but let's see what benefit that's going to get you. It could be property too. We'll get into Alaska Housing.
One more question. Jay. Is it true that you have to carry mortgage insurance?
FHA loan?
Jay.
Okay. John, I didn't know how detailed to get in each one of these, but let's write that down. FHA has an upfront premium. Okay, so he's got his sales price minus his down payment, so now we have his base loan amount. The mortgage insurance premium is 1.75%. You've done an FHA loan, you're doing a loan for $200, your sales price is $260, and you're putting a down payment, but it looks like your loan is for $255, and you're thinking, how does it arrive at that higher number? You think that it's the upfront mortgage insurance premium. You also have it monthly. It's 0.85%. So you would take 0.85% times the loan amount divided by 12. And this isn't anything you should ever try and figure out. Let us do that. If you want to get that. But so it has, FHA has upfront and a monthly.
What was the upfront percentage again?
1.75.
And that's throughout the life.
No, it's up.
Fortunately, it is now the life of the loan.
The monthly. Okay.
Changed recently.
And then Kelly, when they go to pay off, well, there's no you're on a payoff.
Usually not for the mortgage insurance.
Okay, let's say,
It's what we're leaving to do.
let's say, an FHA loan, right? What if if in 3 years or 4 years I want to change it to a conventional loan? Will at that point the time still be effective on it, or that will be a whole different?
So we're going to refinance the FHA loan and now make it a conventional loan?
Mhm.
Because the FHA loan has to be paid off.
So it can't, no, it won't work?
You'd have to pay off the FHA loan.
You wouldn't
and
have-
go to a conventional.
Right. You're going to refinance, and a lot of people do that. they want to have their FHA eligible again, because you can only have one at a time.
Got it.
So, and it was bought FHA, now you want to release your FHA, so we would refinance and put it into a conventional loan, now your FHA is available again.
Got it.
Does anybody want to do that? Because it's terribly expensive. Terribly expensive. Minimum credit score, 620. Been 640 for us for years and years, and now we have a new investor that allows 620. They have more points than another investor. Maximum loan amount, $391,000. And you know what? That's
for a single home?
That's for a single family, not up to a fourplex.
That's it, it's not that much.
No, it's not up to a fourplex. And you know what? I didn't put that on here. I can say it real quick though. Ratios can go so standard ratios are I like to keep about 46% on the back end debt ratio. But for an FHA loan, we've seen approvals way higher than that. Compensating factors have to fall into play to get that higher debt ratio. But it is kind of cool. They've got an excellent credit score, done a good job, 15 years. They've got money in the bank after they close. We can usually push that. So it's going to be, individual. Credit can be a little more questionable. FHA doesn't always off collections that may be in existence. So the other programs do, but Epic Credit doesn't, whereas it does say for conventional. You read an Epic, VA. Okay, let's write these down. I'm sorry I didn't put this on here. Now I'm going to give you Anchorage in that too. Other parts of the state. So a Duke, 550. Triplex is 605,050. And a fourplex is 751,900. And you can go up to fourplex on the FHA loan. Great program. Don't ever think that you don't want to put anybody into an FHA loan. FHA, Kathy knows back in the past it was a little bit of headache. Roofs were a big deal. Crawl spaces, basements were a big deal. Headers and stairs were a big deal. And they slacked up on a lot of things. So FHA is great. If it's within the loan limits, it's a great program.
Because it's flexible and the scrutiny is not so great then.
Mm-hmm.
A bit about the FHA rehab program.
It's the 203K. John, I don't do them. I've never done one.
Really?
We don't do them. And so
Home state doesn't do them at all? Okay.
Any reason why they don't?
it's just a lot of headache.
Imagine having.
I think the only one in town that does them right now is maybe Wells Fargo. But I don't know.
Like everybody's phasing them out.
Doesn't Alaska Housing?
They do
one?
have a
Yeah.
rehab one.
Okay.
They had for a while.
Yeah.
I remember talking about.
Any questions, anyone on FHA?
I'm sorry, what was the ratio standard usually at 41%?
46.
46.
What I like to see for ratios for all my programs if possible, where I'm very comfortable without having to run our automated underwriting and I know I can get an approval. I don't like to see their house payment more than 34% monthly income. And I don't like their back-end debt ratio to be more than 46%. I have to send it in to get a pre-flight for pre-approval for underwriting before they go into contract. Said compensating factors, we can get approvals. But I don't want that responsibility until you get to underwriting and, you might have an issue, so we just pre-flight them.
And you said for FHA, you have to owner occupy for the first year?
You have to have the intent for a year.
Ooh, that's the key word.
What happens? All of a sudden you find out you're having twins and you live in a condo and now you need a bigger house. your job situation changes. And, you know, you need to move out and, you know, buy closer because you don't drive or whatever. So you have to have the intent to live in it for a year.
Yeah.
And it will be looked at if it's less than a year. There will be
So you
a
have
big
to
red
move into
flag.
it.
Yes.
Is that a 60-day window?
I'm sorry?
A 60-day window?
60 days. VA, wonderful program. Love them. Zero down. Y'all have all heard the expression triple zero down. Really doesn't exist unless there's a willing seller.
Yeah.
Because VA doesn't do anything with closing costs. Yes.
Okay, zero down. That means no down payment. But what I mean is like that means that the amount is what the amount is, correct?
Yep, 260,000.
It's not growing any.
Have a funding fee.
And that's where I'm going.
So, and I didn't know how in depth and how much time we had to go into a lot of this, but I'm glad to bring it up. Let's talk about that. So for FHA, we had an upfront and a monthly insurance premium, right?
Okay.
Okay. VA only has an upfront. Okay.
Okay.
First time you use it is 2.15%. Anything that you are ever going to have to calculate. But this is if you're driving in the car and somebody asks you a question, that would be dangerous.
Of the price of the property?
Don't quote me, call Kelly.
The loan amount.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so if they want to make a down payment, but normally it's going to be Abraham, it's going to be the sales price because they're not putting a down payment.
Got it.
So it's 2.15% and no monthly. All for mortgage insurance. And all three of these we're going to talk about are all going to be different. So FHA upfront monthly, VA just upfront. A funding fee. The second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time is 3.30%.
Okay.
Is that if they haven't retired their first VA, or even if they have retired the first VA, the second time they use that? So
That's correct. Now that's right now, and VA can change them at any time they want. You know, they can move them for probably 12 years or something like that. But the funding fee can change, it's whatever their money situation is. And subsequent usage.
So they after they're eligible for a second term, right? That's when that will that's what that will do.
Now, reserves is a little bit different. Reserves is 2.4. And then, y'all, if we want to get into it even more, if a VA buyer decides he wants to make a 5% down payment, his funding fee goes down. So we're just.
So why would a buyer use a VA loan and put 5% down, Kelly? What would be the reason for that?
Lower payment.
So in other words, is it better for them to do a VA with 5% down than an FHA with 3.5% down?
Well, we have to weigh it because you have to, you know, what's important to them. Is the amount down important to them? Is the monthly payment important to them? And probably two scenarios and see what. Their funding fee would go down if they make a down payment on the VA.
Doesn't matter how big of a down payment, like if they put 1% down, does it go down?
It's
Or is it down?
tiered.
Yeah.
So if they put 5% down, it's this. If they put 10% down, it's this. I haven't done one of those in years and years and years. That funding fee is added on top of the loan amount, so they do not have to come out of pocket with it, just like the FHA one. Interesting, fun part about that is that the seller can pay that funding fee. And a veteran can pay it out of pocket. He doesn't have to add it on to his loan amount. He can pay it off.
So if you write a VA offer, you're supposed to pay buyer's closing costs plus funding fee, you can do that.
And be that specific.
And that would keep it at the 4% or less.
4%.
Seller can pay 4% of buyer's.
Well, this is what we learned in our VA class last week. This is what we were kind of talking about at the end of class. We found out, and even the old originators, didn't actually realize this, is that prepaids and reserves. So when y'all write an offer, we've always told you, write closing costs, prepaids, and reserves in that order. They're limited to 4%. We have now found the closing costs are separate. They're not part of that 4%. So you can have 4% of prepaids, reserves, and costs as well, in addition to. And they can pay off debts, the seller can. They can pay off student loans. They can pay off collections. They can pay off revolving to help qualify.
That's what Chris was talking about this morning.
If they're willing to.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's
It
huge.
is well. It is huge. Yeah.
So Kelly, if you have a calculator with you, on a, say, a $200,000 loan, what would the funding fee be for the first time VA buyer?
2,500.
4,300.
Okay, so we could add 4,300 to the offer on top of everything else we're asking the seller to pay, including paying off the buyer's tax lien. Great Scott.
And you can, okay, so let's back up. If you guys want to know this, we should maybe approach with this sometime on an FHA. Only fee too. Or if there's any closing costs left over, to be applied to the upfront mortgage insurance premium on an FHA. It has to pay the whole thing. So say the upfront mortgage insurance premium is $3,200, you can't partially pay the $3,200. On a day, we can partially pay. So if Kathy says, we've got $900 left on the table, well, let's apply it to their funding fee. And proper protocol, in my opinion, what I would do is I would call Kathy, and I said, Kathy, here's our situation, would you please contact the listing licensee and the seller and see if he's agreeable to do that. And then specific in the way y'all have written your offers, it says, and any other allowable lender fees, and then we don't have to approach them because the seller's already agreed to do it. But if there's ever any money left over on a VA, if we can towards that funding fee, we kind of fund that gets happened.
So looking at
Depends on what
VA,
side of the fence you're on, but
so looking at VA again, and I just want to make sure I got it. So the 4% of buyers prepaids and reserves. 4% does or does not include the tax liens and VA funding fee. I'm so fuzzy there.
that can be, yes, that has to be part of the 4%. The funding fee is not.
So they can, the seller can pay 4%
And the-
plus the VA funding.
And the closing costs.
Costs generally run about 3.5%.
They're usually pretty equal. The closing cost amount and the prepaid and reserves amount are usually close to the same.
So if they could do 4% plus another 3.5%, or could pay up to 7.5%.
Or put $12,000 on there,
Yeah,
stated amount.
right. From, if you represent the seller, seems to me that that's imperative that you put a cap on that,
That's what I would.
or everything is going to get paid and the seller won't expect that.
Say, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna, if you don't buy down points, you can buy down points with it too. And I've had sellers say, I'm not going to buy down, so you can get a better loan. I'm not gonna do that.
Let me understand something here. Okay, on this scenario where, we're at 200, let's say like we are now at 220, right, after everything. But will the bank loan an extra $20,000 for whatever expenses are? How?
Can you add the closing costs?
Yeah, like adding all these extra stuff, right? Will the bank still allow to still finance that though, even though they're financing way over what original price was?
But it doesn't have anything to do with the sales price.
Mhm.
We're talking cash. where what we just been talking
Oh,
about.
that's when I got
That's where
confused. I'm like, okay. Got it.
Is that's a 60-day owner occupied as well as 12 months.
Just always think of that within 60 days. Yes, you have to have intent to occupy for a year.
And is an intent also?
You must have,
Sorry. Everybody probably already knows this, but 4%, seller can pay 4% of buyer's pre. How do you have 000%?
you wouldn't. Well, yeah, you would, the closing costs usually, on an FHA, you start to pay 6%. Okay,
Um,
and it's never that much.
What that says in my mind is, it is 4% of the sales price is usually what the prepaid is.
4% of the sales price. VA, it's very close. Usually they don't come to much over 4%.
And so, my confusion was, it looks like it's saying they can pay 4% in reserves.
Mhm.
If that's a number, if the prepaid reserves come to $3,000, they can pay 4% of that. So I didn't understand how you.
No.
So now it makes sense.
Okay.
See, I thought the same, like, I thought of that a long time ago too.
So a
And to
$200,000 loan, 4% would be
Just to clarify, it's 4% of the loan amount, not the sales price.
sales price.
Sales price. Okay.
I'm also aware.
And what I would say is don't try and figure this out on your own. Call your originator that you work with and have them look it up so you can figure out where the best place to put the money is. How do we want to do it? You must have eligibility. So they have to, we have to obtain a certificate of eligibility. They have to have met the minimum requirements of being in the military. They have to be honorably discharged. They have to, sometimes if there's a foreclosure on there, that can cause a little swirl in getting a certificate of eligibility. So we have to make sure they can actually do a VA loan. So that's something that we do internally.
Kelly, have you ever known someone who had a VA loan? Or they could get another one?
Yes. Really? They have to, there are certain steps that they have to take. And some of these. When on your certificate of eligibility, you have $36,000. To where if you do a $200,000 loan, you're going to pull some of that $36,000 for that $200,000. We have a maximum of $625,000 here. So if somebody want a VA loan, well, we know that the prices of homes are going to be as expensive. There may be enough entitlement where he can do another VA loan entitlement. So that is, the conversation that we want to have. And it's just for
Of time.
enough where they probably wouldn't buy anything if they know they're going to be, what's the term, Trace?
Transfer.
Yes. To another place and use his VA again on the next one. That can be done, but I don't know if there's that, if there's a period of time. Or, his intent is still there.
Okay, good.
a loan where somebody wanted, they've used a portion of their VA benefit already, say 400,000 of that 625. 3 years down the road, they want to go purchase another property. Say the next property they want to buy is 400,000, and they only have 200 of their benefit left with, say, conventional or FHA to get the.
No,
what they
you
need.
couldn't combine it with anything. It might be where he has to make a little bit of a down payment.
And
So he
use it
so he
to-
couldn't use the two toward $400,000 property?
Well, it's a formula. So
Okay.
it's just 400 here, 400 here, or 400 here, 200 here. It pulls part of the eligibility out. So it's how much entitlement is left.
Say it's
Okay.
200,000.
Well, that's
Well,
not
up to 36,000 is what I'm saying. There's a formula for it. I can, and I can show you, we can do the math.
So they can't do that, they combine what their
More
remaining
than likely.
benefit with, say, so they could get 400,000 using 200 of their VA benefit?
No, you would combine it,
Okay.
strictly VA.
You create a separate loan to be able to do that.
And I don't think you can get a loan, get a separate loan for that. You'd have to make a down payment.
So down payment of half the price of $1,000 cash or whatever, you have to pay for funds, and then you borrow the 200,000.
Is that what you're saying?
You can't mix a FHA and a
That's
VA,
correct. You cannot.
Or conventional and VA or, okay.
50% down. And then
Can you mix,
You could
You
do
can
two
probably
loans.
have two $400,000 loans and still not have used all your entitlement.
does entitlement have anything to do with sales price? I don't think so.
No. Everybody has 36,000 to start out with.
And what do you do with 36,000? You can't do much with that.
Well,
What does that
it's
pay?
not dollar for dollar. So that's what I'm saying, if you buy a $400,000 house, they're gonna pull out a certain amount of that 36,000, and it's now set with this house only.
How does it do it?
That's just a veteran's benefit entitlement amount. And again, don't.
Is it
try-
what?
Well, John, did
It's
you
not a dollar by dollars that way.
And it doesn't pay for anything.
Are you talking about
It
the
probably
loan
just
amount?
guarantees the
Yeah, the
loan. It's a loan guarantee type thing, isn't it, Kevin?
Well,
So you have a
Well-
maximum benefit of 625.
a
correct?
maximum benefit or a maximum loan amount?
No.
that's per particular property, right?
Because you can have two and you have not used the 625.5. But it times 25% and then you help and see how much entitlement's left. So I'm saying there's a formula to do it.
Well, I think,
Give those to me.
I know.
well, I think,
And you don't need to
I
figure it
know.
out. That's
well, I
Good job.
think more, well, with this loan amount, the 625, it's, you can have one VA loan and the max loan, you can go up to a 625.5. Move your next loan if you use the VA again, max 625.
You wouldn't have enough entitlement. You could not.
Yeah,
go
so
to
the
600.
entitlement though is different than your loan amount.
Exactly.
I
Is
think
the-
that's where it was.
So if somebody wants to go, so this has nothing to do with how much they can qualify for on the next property.
That's
Is that correct?
Well, no, we could probably figure that out, because what we would do is we'd pull a certificate of eligibility after he bought the first house and see how much entitlement he had left.
Okay.
And then we do our multiplication, and then we divide it by, 0.25, and we can't go over 152,000, so there's an actual formula. It's not a $425,000 house and a 200.
Break it down.
What does the entitlement do for?
Allowing them zero down, although it's different than the funding fee. Okay, it's when VA is saying that they have eligible to do a VA loan. So if they want to use all the 36,000, mine, which would be, a pretty expensive home, I'd probably take up with Alaska Housing, the whole 688,000. It just allows them to be able to pull from that.
And so does some of that 36,000, when they pull some of that from the entitlement amount, does that somehow go to the VA as part of the guarantee of the loan?
I don't think
I just wanna
any
know
of that is
Who gets
tangible.
some of that 36,000?
I don't know that that's a tangible thing.
Just kind of get over it.
Yeah. I don't think it's, because it's something that the veteran has available for him to put it back into their pot. And if you want to do a VA loan, you have this 36,000 that you are able to, with zero down and, better interest rates and with the funding fee to be able to do a VA loan.
So the way the 36,000 can be diminished is the price of the home.
That's correct.
That helps, okay. So that's why you said if they use all 36,000, they're probably buying a very expensive home. If they just use a portion of it, they're buying a $200,000 home, and therefore, maybe it could buy a $100,000 home.
Exactly.
The rest of it.
And we see that a lot. I do that a lot because if they're, coming in PCSing, correct, Billy?
Sure.
If they're coming in and again, they've lived in Florida or
Carolina.
North Carolina, then their houses aren't as expensive, so they haven't pulled all that 36,000 out.
Okay. Can you buy a multifamily with a VA?
Yes.
1 to 4 units.
At that point, does the maximum loan amount increases?
Stays the same.
Stays the same.
So the maximum is always going to be 625.5 straight VA.
Okay.
Now, at the bottom of this page, I've got, if you are wanting to purchase a multifamily, to help qualify to offset the mortgage payment, have to have landlord experience, property manager in place to be able to use the rents. Property, FEMA VA eligibility.
I think, I know you probably didn't want to go this in depth, but I think you told me before that there's a way to pay back that eligibility of $36,000. Was that you telling me that before? To get it back up to
I've never,
taking power again?
and keep the existing VA loan
Well,
that
if you
is
paid,
in
like if you
place.
paid everything on, like say you don't have an active loan at all through VA anymore, like you've used it before. But as I think you told me once before to buy it back
It goes back to the 36,000.
if you have no loans.
Yep.
Okay.
So
maybe
that's
what it is.
different than the funding fee. The funding fee is going to, be higher, but you're
Because
eligible entitlement.
As long as you have nothing pulled from the VA.
Well, usually at pre-qual, I pull a certificate of eligibility.
Yeah.
I usually leave the room and ask somebody to do it.
Is that instantaneous? I mean, that happens in 10
Usually
minutes.
it is, unless you've got a squirrel, use a different name or
Got a major that hated you.
whatever. Sometimes it's not done online. We just have to send them a statement of service.
So it's usually pretty quick. I mean, it's a matter of.
You're usually and hand it to Jennifer, and she'll pull them, and she'll bring them back in to me 5-10 minutes, something like that. Gift funds are allowed. The owner's not going to pay any closing costs, and the buyer doesn't have any money, we can do gift funds. Again, the same thing applies, family member, employer, or nonprofit. Must 6 score. Days, where you guys were in the military, VA was much more strict on credit with military, and there don't seem to be watching that as closely, and we had a lot of VAs that come in with low credit scores. We have to get them up.
Kelly, why is it okay for what's the thinking behind allowing a nonprofit fund? What is the rationale behind that?
It's not a loan shark.
There's they have to sign saying that no intent.
Oh, in other words, so a borrower comes to you, you have no one to help, go down the street to Habitat for Humanity and talk them into paying the closing costs for this straight.
Well, that would be distance, be helping them more with the down payment.
It's a nice way to wash money, that's what I think.
But like a non-profit would be, it could be a church. So your church might gift you.
One time or something, and they just help you out
Oh,
because you're part of the community.
Okay, got it.
And they're gifting you funds because you're part of that
Exactly
community.
right.
and you come
I've had an
together.
employer do it before, and I've had a church do it.
And cover that money.
Yes, they have, some people say, a piece of paper saying it's entirely a gift. So however they work out that on their own is, I can't answer that. It's not my area of expertise.
Yeah, well, I'm pick it up.
I'm not looking to buy a house, I just want a gift.
It's too
so what do you think? Y'all want to keep this up?
Oh, yeah.
No, this is
That was
amazing.
really
I was trying to put as
Yeah,
much as I
this
could
is
into an hour,
great.
but, and again,
I don't know,
we can keep going on a VA for another hour.
I don't know if we
At
can,
least.
if we can call this 101 though. I think this is a little more intense than 101.
No, this is because we're dummies.
Well, we also hear a lot of terms that aren't, we don't go get explained all that.
We don't want to be loan originators, but the cursory knowledge is helpful.
You know, I think it's so
Absolutely, I
important. Real estate license in Texas 25 years ago. When I was driving my buyers around, I wanted to at least be able to answer some questions. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they pay down payment. Yeah. You know.
Most inexperienced buyers think that we do everything anyway, that we
Yeah.
do the loans.
Do the
Yes.
pre-qualification
Back in the old
back in the
days.
day.
Yeah, I had somebody who didn't want to go talk to a lender because they
But
thought
you could do it.
the moment they talked to them, that's when that interest rate was locked in.
Oh my God.
They
Yeah.
just didn't have all the information.
Oh, was
No.
that lady?
That was one of the things, yes.
Oh my God.
Kelly, thank you. This is great.
Thank you very much.
We'll just keep up next
Okay,
week.
all right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Kelly.
welcome.
See you guys.
Okay.
I should come back one day, huh?
It's amazing what you actually learn.